this is the Provoked Prawn, and here I'm comparing the Logitech G Pro X Superlight with the Corsair M75 Air Wireless. Now I'm aware that there's a Superlight 2 out. I haven't actually seen that mouse yet, but I thought it made a logical comparison with the original Superlight because these two mice are roughly the same price. So if you're considering the options out there and looking for a bargain on a high-end ultra lightweight gaming mouse, then this might be the video for you. So here I'm going to talk about the differences between both these mice and link to the reviews I've done on them in the description so you can find out more. Now the Superlight is available in various different colours. Corsair take note of that because they would love to see a white version of the M75 Air, and we need more white products from Corsair. But the M75 Air Wireless is a pretty nifty looking mouse on its own. It's very understated in the same way that the Superlight is. No RGB lighting, but some little accents like the yellow highlights on the mouse wheel. Now this is a lightweight mouse weighing in at 61 grams, which makes it very comparable with the Superlight, which was around 63. And there's some variance in them, obviously, but it is interesting to see a symmetrical mouse with a slightly different shape. So you will notice that the M75 is ever so slightly larger, and some other highlights too. Both have large PTFE feet, although the Superlight obviously has a larger expanse with that little bit across the dock on the underside there. But you will also see some other differences, including the M75 Air having Bluetooth capabilities. And if I put the two mice side by side, you can get an idea of what they look like. Apologies that the Superlight looks a bit tatty. That is the one I've been using a while. And you'll see that that does have grip tape on it, because the grip tape is included with the Superlight and it isn't with the M75. So worth bearing in mind if you have particularly sweaty or oily hands and that causes you a problem during gameplay sessions. Now these are, on paper, both fantastic mice, and the Superlight has been highly thought of for quite some time. The M75 Air, though, wins in the specs department because it has a number of interesting things going on here, including 2000 Hz hyperpolling rate and USB-C fast charging, which means that in around 75 minutes you can get a full charge on it. The claim is up to 100 hours of use on Bluetooth, so this does work with both Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz, although you only get about 45 hours over SLIPSTREAM wireless, so the 2.4 gigahertz connection, although obviously that is 2000 hertz polling rate and potentially better in terms of connectivity. The Superlight doesn't have Bluetooth, but it does have obviously Logitech's Lightspeed wireless technology, so it will give you a good solid connection as well. The specs aren't as good, and I'll leave both in the description, but the Superlight has 40G acceleration, 400 IPS and 25,600 max DPI, while the M75 has 650 IPS, 50G acceleration and up to 26,000 DPI. The Superlight does, however, win in some ways because it has around 70 hours of battery life, and you can also use Logitech's PowerPlay system. This is a charged mouse mat, which is an additional purchase, but allows you to swap out the standard puck on the underside of the Superlight for this one here, which you can then dock in there really simply. And then what you can do is basically put the mouse on this mouse mat and then never need to plug it in. This is a bonus because the original Superlight unfortunately uses micro USB for charging purposes, which will annoy many. Luckily, the Superlight 2, if you're interested, has been upgraded to USB-C. As I said, I've not seen that mouse yet, so it's not a fair comparison to compare those two. So watch out for reviews on that in the near future, hopefully. And you'll see that this gives you an extra option in terms of charge. And this is definitely one of the benefits of Logitech products, is this PowerPlay system. Although it's quite a small mouse mat, having basically to never charge your mouse up is obviously really nice. Never having to plug it in or worry about it suddenly losing charge is pretty fantastic, and it does have a really good battery life as standard anyway. That's not to say that the Corsair mouse doesn't have good battery life. I certainly didn't find I was plugging it in that often, so that's something to bear in mind. Now the Superlight has been very popular for a long time, and with good reason, because it's simple, it's understated, and yet delivers really good performance. One downside that people have noted though is the experience with double-clicking issues with Logitech switches. If you search online, you'll find loads of people complaining about this. It's not something I've experienced, but over time those mechanical switches will wear down, and then that does result in some problems with the mouse. Now Corsair is using optical switches in the M75 alongside Corsair's quick strike buttons, which give you some seriously crispy clicks, quite satisfying, or maybe a bit loud depending on your personal preference. It does mean that they actuate really quickly though, and then obviously with the optical setup, they're going to be reliable over time and give you a really accurate response for gaming. And one thing I don't like though is the side buttons, which as you can see are a little bit recessed and also quite shiny, so they're not as easy to use as the ones on the Superlight, and that is definitely one thing that I don't like about the M75. So essentially what you're seeing is Corsair getting serious with an ultra lightweight mouse for competitive gaming and doing a really good job with it. This is a fantastic little mouse with a really nice number of features to it and understated design. There's none of the usual garish RGB or anything like that. It's all about performance and quality, and they've done so without putting holes in the body, which is obviously a bonus as well because it means it will just last over time. I find there's very little to complain about here. The PTFE areas are nice and slick, it moves around really well, and it's basically very comparable with the Superlight. So if you're looking for a good alternative to the tried and trusted Superlight, then this might well be it. Stick around now for a sound test, hear the difference between the switches, and then check out the description for links to the reviews to find out more about both mice. Thanks for watching.
You've made it right to the end of the video, you brilliant legend you. If you've enjoyed it, click that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and drop me a comment down below if you've got any questions. If you really enjoyed it, consider joining the channel and see the benefits of doing so. Check out these other videos, you might well find them interesting or useful, and most importantly, have a great life.